I'm doing calisthenics to warm up. Okay, let us do this. Oops. Mulligan. Yeah, this one is still probably going to take me a little bit. It's hard. I do, however, have a plan. Once I get my bearings back. This is primarily a strength-based character. I'm using Ludwig's Holy Blade. I'm also being sneaky as heck. Excuse me? This offends me on several different levels. Considering perhaps saving the bolt paper. Still, I think the basic strategy, get behind her and get a sneak attack in, then hopefully don't die in one hit. I'd like to avoid that. I missed! She didn't. God, that hurts. Hopefully the extra physical defense will mean I at least don't die in one hit. Hopefully. So basically my strategy, at least for the first part of this fight, is to get in close and use the overhand swing of Ludwig's Holy Blade and get some good damage in on the head. Hopefully avoid that, but I'm not sure that's really reliably possible. Oh. Right, the frenzy. I think to beat this boss, I'm going to have to get over my habit of always dodging backwards. I need to dodge forwards. I also forgot to do that the last couple times. Always try to remember to send that back up. It makes subsequent runs, well, doesn't make them easier, but it makes them quicker. That didn't happen. Ugh. This rock is making life difficult. How about that? Fuck you! It's a little esoteric, but basically, what happens is if you go down a certain quest line, then the Queen of the Vile Bloods will die isn't quite the right word, but the Queen of the Vile Bloods will find herself in a spot of bother, and you can take some of her remains to the altar, and she will yet live, and you can still do Vile Blood stuff while still having the wheel. It's sort of weird. All right, now for the next in line. By the way, the cannon is really fucking good. Like, you might think it's just a stupid gimmick weapon, but it is, like, legitimately strong. Oh, actually, I need better fire defense for this fight. I am a bone witch! With a cannon. My cannon magics are very powerful. Alright, this is fucko number 2. The Sumerian Elder has basically the strongest trick weapon ever because it's made of fire. However, he's also kind of old and he's easy to interrupt with a strong enough weapon. However, he does like to teleport around like a jackass. Alright, when he powers up like that, that means he's entered phase 2, and things get quite a bit more difficult because he has more attacks and they tend to be stronger. Also, he rapid fires the bow. So as you can tell, I have powered up significantly since the last time I fought this guy. To be perfectly honest, I was super underleveled when I was fighting him the last time. Now that I am not, it was not nearly as difficult because he's actually pretty mechanically all right. Well, that wasn't nearly a power hour, so I guess what I'll do is just continue on in the Chalice dungeons. I'll also stop being a bone witch, at least for the time being. At this point, I have so many cool shirts to choose from. I think I'll keep the bone ash gauntlets on. The party dress is really flimsy. Unless I'm getting shot at, then it's like inexplicably really beefy. At any rate, it's time to go down to the lower Thumerian Chalice. The weird thing about the dress is that it has very high blood tinge defense, which is basically what governs bullets. I think it's because you find it in Castle Canehurst and they're all about the blood and the bullets and stuff like that. Probably should have brought more than one antidote, but I'm sure I'll be fine. The reward we got for defeating the Thumerian Elder was the short route Chalice, I believe. It's basically this really weird randomized dungeon PvP co-op finder thing. I do not understand particularly well how it works. I do know how traps work, though, which is why I step on them all the time. To display my superior knowledge, hello. I'm pretty sure that these guys' magic attacks don't do damage, or if they do, it's not very much. But it does stun you, so for that purpose, I like to avoid them. These guys are new. I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but they're rather beefy. They have enormous greatswords that do a lot of damage. And they have a lot of poise. And if you let them hit you with their full combo, well, don't do that. They're reasonably vulnerable to gun parries, but I'm sort of scared of doing that with them. They just do so much damage if you mess up, and they have enough reach that it's difficult to do from a distance. The treasure coffin still thinks that it can play the musical sting and be scary, but at this point, I'm not very impressed. It's like, what do I expect there to be in there? Of course it's going to be a mummy. Don't feel like you have to visceral attack these guys to death. They're actually very immobile if you get around them. Anything fun in here? Nothing here. My dog seems to disagree. He's a bit of a barker. You'll also notice that depth 3 is about where the Chalice dungeons start actually giving reasonable rewards, just in terms of blood echoes. This is not a New Game Plus character. Chalice dungeons don't actually scale at all with New Game Plus, so... I mean, that said, from what I hear, some of the later depths are basically NG Plus level difficulty, so I might have to get to that level anyway, but I have not technically beaten the game on this character. I'm in the main story, if you can call it that, up to Mensis. Does not open from this side. Hello! Didn't quite expect that, to be honest. It must have come from this direction. Oh, I see the Chime Maiden. Oh, I see real spiders. Chime Maidens are bad news. This guy doesn't have an enormous fucking greatsword, but he has a smaller sword. And he also has a repeating crossbow kind of thing. I didn't give him a chance to use it. Oh, of course. Fix right that moment to come down. Alright then. So here's the secret. Ludwig's Holy Blade is the strongest weapon in the game. The Wheel of Logarius, despite having style points of the wazoo, is not. That said, I will still try to use both more or less equally when I can get away with it. Now, I have heard that this is where the illusionary walls start popping up, so I'm going to be keeping my eye out. I've been through this layer before, but I did not hit the illusionary walls, so I'm not really sure if they exist or not. Like, I'm sure they exist, I just have no idea where they are. Besides, this is Bloodborne. I can hit my weapon against the side of the wall as much as I want without penalty. Oh, you can destroy those. I didn't actually know. I'll keep that in mind. Alright, I'm not actually sure if this works on the next set of bosses, but I at least want to try. Now, of course, I have to get my bearings at least a little bit. I don't think it works. Oh well. Works on the shadows of Yarnum. Now, sadly, there are no stairs to cordon these guys off on this time. So I'm just going to have to focus on good old hit-and-run tactics. When the Shaman Bow Blade does work, it makes the enemies attack each other. Also, Molotovs do splash damage, so if they bunch up like that, it becomes a viable offensive weapon. Of course, when they bunch up like that, it becomes very, very difficult to hit them regularly. Parry fishing is also difficult, because they tend to cover each other if you stagger one. If you can isolate them, though. Ugh, that has reach. This fight is not too difficult, but it can become unmanageable depending on how many hits they're able to chain on you. Also, if you can't dodge past them because they're enormous. Come on. Sometimes you just want to shoot a dude with a cannonball. Okay, one down. That makes things easier. As one falls, so does the nation. So the wheel is primarily used for smashing things. However, its transform mode not only makes it smash, but it gives it a spooky aura. And its strong attacks hit multiple times because the wheel is spinning. This is also true for the dodge attack, which I think is one of the better ones in the game, where you just sort of jam it out there really quickly and it does multiple hits and staggers most things, honestly. If you use the gun button while it's two-handed, you can also do this. You start spinning up the wheel and your health starts draining. Do it too many times, your health starts draining really fast, and as long as it's like this, your health keeps draining, but it does a lot more damage. To stop dying, just untransform it. I don't find much of a use for that mode, to be honest, because it takes up, unlike the Chikage, where you just get massive damage right off the bat when you transform it, that one you sort of have to stand in place for a little bit and put yourself in danger. I haven't really noticed that much damage increase. It's kind of weird. I might mess around with it a little bit, but I need more stuff. I think I'll also change out my runes. These are sort of a boss fight setup. My other character uses the Chikage, and it's pretty strong. I might do some more stuff with her later and go through New Game Plus. I'm not sure. Alright, increase the stud. Alright, I don't really want this one at the moment. I think instead I will go for Formless Odin. And can't go wrong with Blood Rapture. Getting stuff from Viscerals has always been my favorite rune setup, I think. Wait, I put in the wrong thing. Wrong Odin rune. I want Odin Writhe. Also a couple more bone marrow ashes, those always come in handy. I think the secret is that basically all the weapons in this game are hella cool. It sort of sucks that some of them are kind of garbage, but I feel like that it would be a viable business strategy for them to just release DLC that's just new weapons over and over again, and I would probably buy all of them. I mean, that's partially because I'm a sucker, but it's also because that trick weapons in general are just really fun and interesting. Back at it again. Whoosh. Is this ball fake? Doesn't look like it. Of course it doesn't open from this side. Are you quite alright? I'm not. Wish enemies in this game didn't hurt quite so much sometimes. Yeah, there's a gooey thing. That's why you bring Molotovs. Goo is very weak to fire. I'm over here, buddy. It's always a little weird when you just get echoes out of nowhere. It's a dog. Very tough dog. Hate this smoke. At least you can get rid of it here. You fake? No. Have some frickin' treasure. Rope Molotovs are weird. Oh, hell. I found one. The beasts. Knock it off. Alright, I got 2 of them. Ah yes, the precious tomb mold. Hidden behind advanced sorceries. Anything else? Doesn't look like it except for a completely superfluous trap. Now to find the right way to go. That way was very nice, but it did not offer progress. Oh, the quit reload trick works on them. Okay, I'm not sure how eager I am to do that, but I will keep that in mind. Oh, it's one of these poker men. Actually, max bullets. Okay. Time to bring out the cannon then. Somewhere a door to the old labyrinth has opened. Seems like we're sort of already in the old labyrinth, but I guess it's just a different way of saying it. Right, this was the door that didn't open from that side. Okay, yeah. I'm ready to move on. Up we go. For whatever reason, I just really resent side areas. I don't know why. It's just like whenever I see one, I'm like, oh, I have to do this. I should probably actually not abuse visceral attack so much in here. I know that those weird tick things can spawn if you do. I'm not really sure why they put that in, but they did. Eyes on the ceiling, as always. Oh, you assholes. I still don't have a very good way to deal with those things. I mean, I guess now I'm strong enough that I can just sort of beat them to death with a strong weapon, but I'm not quite sure what their strengths and weaknesses really are. The cannon would probably do it. In fact, I'm in an experimental mood right now. Well, it was not ineffective, but I'm pretty sure fire is probably the best answer. Either that or just beating them up. Always need some more of that. Maybe. At this point, I'm sort of not sure exactly. At any rate, that's a shortcut of a sort. I don't really understand the shortcuts in these dungeons. I think they're mostly there to like give you an inkling that there's still treasure to be found if you continue exploring. Oh, hello, Mr. Bagman. Perfect timing. I need some bullets. I don't need a kick to the face. Do your thingy. Not now. Well, I think I came out even on bullets there. That's fine. Oh, a friend. Excuse me, I was just getting a drink. Some of these side areas can get quite expansive. Did you know there's also a cannon down here? 2 cannons. Hate that thing. I mean, it's not enough that there's 2 cannons. There's also a guy chucking Molotovs. On the other side, boundless riches. Actually, mostly just blood vials we can't carry. I'll keep them in mind. I thought I would have dodged that, but it's fine. We have blood vial surplus. This is the most tricksy hallway. It's not very skillful, but it's quite satisfying to simply rally through damage like that. Oh, he still had a buddy. Come on, buddy. It's odd. The odd modifier usually means that it gives a fixed amount of a certain stat instead of percentage. Usually the percentage is better, especially as you get late into the game, but odd does have its uses. It's all part of my plan. There appear to be enemies down there, so I'm going to try and fail to use one of these cannons to my advantage. Utterly worthless. That's a pit. This appears to be a dead end, though, so I guess pit is the only way to go. Whenever you come to such dank quarters, it's best to always look up, because there might be some gooey thing waiting to drop on you. Alright, here we are at the bottom area of that room. The coast should be clear-ish. At very least, I'm pretty sure I won't run into any cannon fire. Dogs, maybe. Trying to sneak up on me, huh? I wish poise was a thing in this game. There are some attacks that grant you super armor, but there's no way to passively increase it that I know of. You'd think it would be a perfect fit with the rally system, but nah. The wheel has its shortcomings, but make no mistake, it does a lot of damage. If you can hit it. Come on. For whatever reason, it has very low rally potential, at least that I have found. Stagger damage is a little unreliable. Oh well, not a big deal. Ah, now this is a, well, questionably valuable find, but if you find yourself doing a lot of Chalice dungeons, then you'll probably get some use out of it. The Arcane Haze Extractor, as it is called, will allow you to convert ritual materials that you have a surplus of into a material called Arcane Haze, which lets you access special offering versions of dungeons. It's weird. I haven't done it yet. I believe that's the side area cleared out. Though I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to restock. I don't want to go facing the next boss like this. If I recall, he's quite difficult. If I also recall, the next boss is weak to fire. Well, at this point, I might not even have enough echoes to upgrade my stats, actually. I'll check.
Welcome. Very well.
Just enough. Level 70 now. Funny number time is over.
Farewell, good hunter. May you...
Now I will be taking the Holy Blade into this fight for pretty much the sole reason that it can be enchanted. Logarius's wheel has its own power-up thing, and while that's very nice, it's not fire damage. Alright, it's time for Undead Giant Round 2. I recall this guy being a bit of a pain in the ass, mostly because of that. He hits like a truck. Should probably dodge into that, not away from it. There we go. To win this fight, you gotta be cagey. You can't get too greedy. If you get hit more than once, you're probably dead. I just need to refamiliarize myself with his attacks. It's not where I wanted to swing the sword. The main difficulty is all the iron stuff on his back. Stop throwing a temper tantrum. It took me way too long to remember how this guy actually works. What a waste of blood vials. Very punishing boss, but not actually difficult once you get into the rhythm of it. Very possible to get in there under leveled though, and it will take forever. He has a lot of health. God, these load times are brutal. I've been playing for quite some time, and I still can't help myself but make that observation. They're a little much. Alright, I remember this floor. It's kind of brutal. Um, hmm. Is there an alternate way to go? No. Alright. Well, first you get killed by slowdown. That's not cool. It's one of those big rooms with lots going on, and the game just can't handle it. I mean, I can't handle it either, but the game especially. Alright, you can't actually use a heavy weapon against these guys or it takes forever. Alright. Hopefully I can get a better fight this time. Evidently not. There's just a really noticeable delay here. I mean, are you seeing this? It's because something's shooting fireballs at me, to be honest. If it weren't for that detail. Alright. To cut this problem off at the source. Alright. Well. Alright, can just do that for a little while. Okay. Whatever, off you go. Invincibility frames! Slightly. Alright, now I need to figure out the best way to handle these fuckers. And I think I know the answer. Auto-targeting has failed me again. Oh, it turns out the bone marrow ash wasn't necessary at all. Though now I'm basically out of bullets. I hate it when that game does things like this. I hate it when this game does things like that. Alright, well, I'm out of cannonballs, so for the other one I might have to take a slightly more traditionalist approach. If I can see anything. Hello? Alright, looks like charge attacks are effective. I think I'm gonna need those bullets. Alright, the next order of business is finding out exactly where I need to go. That looks like a likely candidate, but I will need to get past these two things first. These things have some really obnoxious interaction with the world geometry, by the way, if that wasn't obvious. It is very likely that the lock-on will also betray you. Those are some of my least favorite enemies to fight in the game. If you have a strong pistol, they're manageable because you can usually shoot them in the head for a lot of damage, but my only real form of ranged attack is the cannon. And while it's extremely effective, it's also sort of expensive. And then we appear to have popped up on the top level. With a good deal of the lower floor cleared, there's not nearly as much slowdown, so I'm more comfortable taking them on. At least in numbers. Oh, lovely. One of the tick things showed up. They're not so bad. The greatsword does a fairly good job of dealing with them. Just gonna get those out of the way before they can get in my way. Oh, that was like the most eloquent fucking thing I've ever said in my life. Need those. Alright, boss is unlocked. There's a bit more exploration to do, but it's also kind of terrifying. So I guess we'll just see what we can do here. If I recall, there is a secret door around here. Well, around here in the general sense. I might actually have to look up where it is. This is a quote-unquote good place to grind up arcane haze because the, I guess, house centipede enemies drop it with pretty alarming regularity. Alright, I'm actually going to look up that illusionary wall real quick. I just don't want to come back here if I can avoid it. Chalice dungeon. Oh, it just says there is a hidden wall in layer 3. I mean, okay. That's really helpful. Thank you. For whatever reason, the top level is pretty darn barren. Oh, by the way, these exist. Keeper of the Old Lords. He also has some friends. They have a lot of range. Speaking of friends, the camera is not mine. Literally can't see. Now this guy is not as strong as the boss version, but he's still a big deal. That's why I hit him with a cannon. It's not even remotely worth it to take that thing on. Those were just garden variety dogs. Now, if you can actually see, they're not really that big of a deal. I mean, they're not easy. They're very dangerous, but I just need to remember where the stairs are now. Ah, here they are. Such is the price of gluttony. Speaking of the price of gluttony, I think I'm going to take this opportunity to go back. Actually, I'm going to check and see if... I can't remember. Was there a side area up here? If there is, I might just explore it now. Ah, of course. Up, up. Try firing a trap when the mechanism is destroyed. Easy bullets, easy bullets. Easy shards. More terror dog. Dog with super frames. Fortunately, dog appears to have the weakness of a short attention span. There were two of them, but he appears to have lost interest in me. You're not a dog. I do not care about you. You're a spider. That's like a dog. I'm sort of legitimately curious where the other one went. Did it go over the side? That's happened to me before. I think that's what happened. Alright. Should be able to take on the Keeper fairly easily now. Never mind. Oh well, I needed to restock anyway.
I should be able to take him on fairly easily now.
Now I wonder what terrifying beastie got my souls. I guess if you're quick enough, you can actually get him killed with that trap. That's kind of cool. Oh, pfft. You're not a terrifying beastie at all. This guy is, though. Ah, yes, the sandwiching maneuver. Okay, that went okay. Now then, time to do my best to avoid a repeat. Now there's also, yeah, there's a spider in here too, so I need to be careful of those guys. I feel like it should be illegal that some stupid flavor tapestry should be able to get in my way in terms of camera. Dingus. Wow. What an idiot. A complete loser. Let me just turn this on so I can see a little better. Ah, Bagman. Hello, Bagman. When I first played this game, I was terrified of these fuckers. As well I should be, I think. They don't fuck around. Those are always nice. Like, sometimes certain things are nicer. But I will never say no to a bold hunter mark. Any more spiders up on the ceiling? Nope, just one behind me. Asshole. What was behind Herr Bagman? More spiders. Slightly different, though. These are ROM spiders. They like to do the doofy flips. I would say that they are marginally more dangerous than their out friends. Mostly because they can do that, and in this sort of situation, that's actually really hard to see. I'll take those with gratitude. So I can't believe that fucking keeper just jumped to his death. Completely unintentionally. And yet I also lost to him, so... Alrighty, friend. I should take those guys more seriously. Thought I could just get a quick couple hits in after I visceraled him, but no such luck. The terrifying mold! I was just here. Where's the exit? Come on. It's been on this side. There it is. It's so damn dark. So damn misty. Hello? Anybody here? From up above? Down below? Nope. Might as well hit these walls while I'm here. There might be a secret. Nope, no secret. Perhaps a stealthy approach will avail me here. No. It will not. Chalice dungeons don't fuck around. Fortunately, I think I can get there without too much trouble. This is the wrong way. I'll remember him one day. Yes, you're very scary. No need to bother with the keeper. Oh good, they're just right here. Alright, this time I will be more aware of my surroundings. Unlike this guy. He is just a moron. Now, what was the purpose of this room, I wonder? Hello? Jackass. It doesn't look like this room has much of a purpose. Secrets? Alright, doesn't look like it. I guess the Watcher dropped a gemstone and that's the end of that. All that's left now is the boss, but I don't really want to go face him with 50,000 echoes on my person. That's still significant at this point in time. Always want to keep weapons in good repair. Alright, I know this will come in handy. Unless you have desperate need for help with co-op stuff, I would definitely recommend that you buy your papers from the Insight shop. They seem a lot more cost efficient in terms of Insight versus Echoes. I need anything else? I wish everything wasn't quite so expensive. Kind of want the Pyramid Head hat, but that's 60,000. I'll just gradually fill out my collection. Never forget, Fashion Souls is very important. Speaking of which, I need to change my armor around. What I need now is something with all-around good defenses, but specifically against Arcane. So... I think my best bet is probably Father Gascon's clothes. Sort of an amalgam here. I should also switch out my runes too. Wish you didn't have to go back here to do that. Alright, pretty much always want the one in a... let's see, what else might I want? That's always a good one. How about this one too? Very nice. Alright, that should do it. Bloodborne. At least it's not Sonic 06. Not only the load time's probably shorter, it's actually fun to play. Alright, enough screwing around in side paths. Let's fight the boss. Yes, it's not a high bar, but it was the first thing that came to mind with really frickin' long load times. Now, this is actually where my previous forays into Chalice dungeons have sort of gone by the wayside. After running into another variation of ROM, for no real reason, I sort of found myself a little annoyed, slightly perplexed. Because I'm going to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this fight to begin with. It's not offensive, but it's kind of boring. Boring enough that I'm sort of looking at chat while I'm doing this, so that's not a good idea. Now, I'm fairly sure that in this arena it is not at all viable to simply ignore his friends. It's too small. If you simply try to berserk him down, then you're going to get overwhelmed quite quickly. Also, he appears to be trying to burrow into the ground. Alright. No sense dallying. And there he goes. And there he... Ugh, that's another thing. Alright, now comes the hard part. Now, because you have so much less room to dodge in here, it becomes necessary to take cover behind pillars. So, in this current stalemate, we can't really do anything to one another. So, the idea becomes... wait for him to do his thing. When the coast is clear, pop out and try and kill a spider. Get over here. Because, of course, while you're taking cover behind the pillars, you need to make sure that you're not overwhelmed by the spiders. So it's a bit of a delicate balance.